Drum Castle is deeply rooted in Scottish history. In 1323, the castle was granted to William de Irwyn by King Robert the Bruce. The castle remained within the Irwyn family until 1975, when it was handed over to the National Trust of Scotland. Irvine memorabilia is shown in the family room, and the house contains an excellent collection of portraits and good Georgian furniture. The sweep of 700 years of history is stamped into Drum's stalwart battlements, medieval square tower, and sprawling extensions. The beautiful garden of historic roses is divided into quadrants that show how roses have been cultivated from 17th to 20th century. The ancient oak forest adjoins the castle, providing a sense of continuity through the centuries and a home for red kites, roe deer, red squirrels, and badgers.
I'm Jennifer, I'll be your guide this afternoon. Anyone been to Drum before? In some of the rooms, you're allowed to sit on those chairs. So if we're in a room and you can't see any that look like that, please don't sit on any of the others. Also, if I can ask you, Irwin, from 1323 right up to 1976 when the family left and the National Trust for Scotland took over the castle and the land. So, prior to coming up here, they lived in Ayrshire down the southwest coast of Hall, right through to the bottom wall there. And it was recorded as the largest low hall in Scotland at that time. The Georgians put in the dividing wall to create the two rooms. They also put in the large Georgian windows, closing off the original Jacobean ones there to form those alcoves. During the Victorian period, the 20th Laird and his wife, and this is his wife Anna, above the fireplace here, they did a lot of work at the castle. They reversed these two rooms to make the bigger room the drawing room, simply because of the amount of furniture they would have in it. They covered the old plaster ceilings with this oak panelling, which you'll notice is a different colour to the rest of the oak in the room. And there's a reason for that, which I'll be telling you about when we're in the dining room. Part of the back of the castle. Now, that gave them a new entrance, and that's where you've all just come in. Gallery at this level. With a you may recognise, if you're local, it's the Castle Gate in Aberdeen. Hugh painted this in 1812, which of course is Victorian era. But if you look at the clothes people are wearing, you can see it's about 100 years earlier, it's Georgian. And also some of the characters in the painting were known characters at that time as well. So he's obviously used a drawing of someone else's as this year, it's only the grounds that are over the I did say I would say something if anybody did. So, through in the drawing room, I showed you Mary, the sister of the 17th Laird. This is the 17th Laird up here. 1745, James VIII's son, Prince Charles Edward Stuart, better known as Bonnie Prince Charlie, and that's him up there. He decided to have a go with his father's blessing. So he got himself to the Western Islands of Scotland, then onto the mainland, meeting with clan chiefs as he went, asking them to give him men to form an army. So he had a fair bit of success over on that side, a bit less so on this side and down near the border, simply for the reason that well counted. Right, take a look at what's under the staircase. What do you think that might be?
I think it's a wagon.
It looks a bit like an old-fashioned coach, doesn't it? It's actually called a perambulator, which is a posh word for a pram.
Oh, wow.
So have you got a pram on your front sheet? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, actually, if you go past the rope here, I'll let you through. You can just go around the corner and down the stair. Through that door and down this little stair that's there. The Faithful Hound, it's all about the dog. It's not a very pleasant painting, with a very strange sense of humour here. This was painted for a member of the family who was also a doctor, so we believe he may have been the family physician. He stayed over at Altonford, over near Newmarket, another of the family estates. As the gentleman died, the family sent the painting back to Drum. Although we're in 18 that side, however, for us it's a super feature. It shows you what all the windows at first floor level would have looked like. They would have all had a yet like this as you get indoors, and we have a door yet downstairs of what would have been the entrance to the Jacobean house. Now, so we believe this part was used by the family to eat. Their new kitchen was immediately below here, and there was a pulley here to send the food up to be served. Once the Jacobean house was built, of course, they had a dining area there, and the food would get carried through initially until their new kitchen is completed in the ground floor there, and that's now. This one was painted in the later half of the 1600s, and the thing of interest in there is that roof on top of the tower in the middle. That's the cat house that I spoke about now. That looks like a domed roof from back here, but it's actually a pitched. That would never have been like that originally. It was a much wider roof with a lower pitch. They still make blue and white, so you can still buy pieces like this from new. But if you go into any antique shop or fair, there's always blue and white there, always. In this cabinet...
Is this dog?
Yeah,
the
they've done a dog with the dog face, yeah. Very oldest part. It's the only part of the tower that's accessed from inside. Normally, as visitors, you would go in out that outside staircase and then the door that I showed you. But I'm sure you've all noticed the scaffolding around the tower. It's a bit hard not to see it. This is ongoing repairs from problems that developed during the first COVID lockdown, which has led to a whole source of problems with the tower. So this is yet just another phase of it. It took 6 weeks to put this scaffolding up, and so far they've been working on the top for about 2 weeks. So we're hoping it doesn't take another 6 weeks to get the scaffolding down again. But they'll have to come back in about 3 to 5 years' time when the walls are fully dried out, take off all the mortaring and then tell you about it instead. The one saving grace is it means you don't have about 74 stairs to climb to get to the top, which of course is a spiral staircase with a rope handrail, with trip steps of course. So, that she did of her parents-in-law in front of the fire here. You can see there's a painting up there, you can see there that Anna's an artist would appreciate Hugh's work, and she's had it covered. The coats of arms up in the scene. And it's a bigger tour because it's moving it and with the hunt as well. Right, so we're back into 15th century Drum now. So when the family first came out of the tower, this was their first little sitting room. Can everybody manage to come in, yeah? Yeah. So if you can imagine, after the big chambers of the tower, to come into a small room with a low ceiling, a decent fireplace, plus this wall here is the chimney wall for the 2 chambers.
I don't know. You see the room, but we've got to. No, we got water. It's not that
Imagine
bad.
you
It's not
living
that
in
bad.
York.
It's not bad in Yorkshire.
That was amazing. I'm not using that then.
Obviously, when these were the nurseries, these would have been the night nurseries. Now, we know that because of bars on the windows. They're missing off this one, and probably was taken off, but they're on all the rest. That instantly tells us most of the room is children slept in. This would be a nice cozy little room with the door shut and the fire on, so when it can govern this. The little, looks like a set of minor miniature drawers for like jewellery or a collection or something. Those standing at the sides will notice there's a line across each side, and it also goes across the front as well. It's actually a little cabinet. The top sort of two drawers are actually the lid. It opens up. When that opens up, the two sides go out a little bit, and then the front part comes off before you went to bed. So we don't have those.
It's a really cosy room, I think.
Hallway, and you can see where they've kind of cut off the plaster work that came back. Anna and her husband brought that back from a trip to Japan and China after they completed the building of the Victorian way. Oh, this is a Victorian staircase. You can imagine coming down here in a tunnel and a lot better than coming down that.
Where do the family now stay?
The last Laird and his wife had a house up in Schmarlow. However, David died in 2019 and then Carol died just in May this year. Her ashes were just interred in the graveyard on Saturday, this weekend past.